Good morning, Tina. Or, yeah, it's real early for you.
Good morning. I can't put my camera on. I'm still inside doing my workout. How come you're frozen?
Oh, I'm not frozen. Here you
How
go. I'm
come
not. There you go. No, no, hold on. There we go. No,
Hey,
no frozen.
it's just us. I
Yep.
still don't have my voice back. I
Still?
still don't have my voice back. Yeah, it's
Wow.
like whis whiskey voice still, yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
were partying hard.
I was living like a rock star, man. Like I came out of retirement like an elite athlete in my prime. Like I don't even there was not even any consideration of slowing down. Like after my 3 days of drunkenness with my girlfriend, I just like kept on going. Hey, Ben,
How
I
are
miss you
you?
guys already. I'm gonna turn my
I
camera off now
I don't
and
miss
finish my
standing up.
workout. Hey, Mike.
I
Hey,
don't
Are you
miss
sick?
standing
Sam.
up all day long.
I gotta pump some iron. I'm gonna be listening though, so make it exciting.
We'll try to do that just for you.
Exciting. It's funny.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Doing well. Still recuperating. Still tired, but we're good.
That's an understatement.
I let you know it's a good event whenever it's 5 days later and you're still trying to recoup.
Maybe it was the 2 days of return travel that didn't help either.
That could definitely do it as well. Thankfully, I did not have that issue. I did not have that issue. Did you, Mike, did y'all end up going to the like riding the go-karts at F1 or would you end up doing it at F1?
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Go-karts. Yeah, that was awesome. Did you get a chance to?
Yeah, yeah, I did the go-karts. I didn't do the simulator. By the time we got back over there, the line was wrapped around the building almost. So we were
Hmm.
like, it's not worth waiting in that line for. My feet are already killing me, so I'll just skip that and go off everybody else's experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah, it was
bailed after the go-karts.
Were you able to do the simulation as well, or no?
no. I
No.
wasn't
Okay.
waiting in that line myself. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it was crazy. I wish honestly they had more simulators than I thought. I was like, watch
Hmm.
there be like three of them, and then the line's gonna be insane. They ended up having like 10, so it would made it way better. But they need like 30. I think 30,
Yeah.
the lines would have been like super short, and it would have been a lot of fun. But the go-kart racing, like I did not expect them to go as fast as they went, being electrical go-karts. Like they went really, really fast. So I was like, I was really shocked by that, to be honest.
Hmm. It was fun. That was a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was a good time. Definitely a good time.
yeah.
And for those
Yeah,
of you that
we
are joining, we were just talking about the Connect Vegas event. We hosted our finale party at the F1 Center, and they had live simulation and go-kart racing and stuff like that. That was available for us to do. That was a lot of fun. What were you gonna say, Mike?
Oh, I was just gonna say we woke up. We were supposed to leave on Friday morning. We woke up and got a text message that said our flight was delayed till 9 o'clock. Or sorry, 1 o'clock. It was supposed to be 7 o'clock. And so we was like, well, we'll just shuffle things around. So we went through Houston instead of through Chicago. I'm in Michigan, so okay, cool. We'll go to Houston. We get to Houston and it's raining. And it's raining and it's raining. And we had a 5.5 hour layover that turned into an overnight layover. So
Ugh.
the crew timed out and thunderstorm. It just took forever. So
It would never rain in Houston. I don't know what you're talking about.
is that really a thing? I don't know. I've never been there before.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. This
Houston's considered Gulf, so yeah, there's plenty of rain.
Yeah, they
Mm,
don't go outside when it's thunderstorming or raining or anything, right? It's just like I remember I flew into there and it was like they were like, I was like, "Where's the luggage?" Like, "Oh, well, they don't go out store outside when it's storming." So I'm like, "Oh, really?"
mm,
And so they like I waited around for my luggage for like 2 or 3 hours. Like it was already midnight. Like it was a different occasion. Now Tim and I,
mm.
we're on the same flight back, and we both got the one delay, two delay, three delay, rebook. I'm like,
Mm.
and like Tim was like, meet me at the booth. I was like, we need to rebook. I'm like, okay, cool. So like I ran over there. We found a flight, and both of us was like, it was only middle seats.
Oh,
And so we got back of the plane, middle seat, and funny enough, it was like a whole bunch of Kaseya guys back there.
It
So
was. It was all like almost all Kasaans, so that was
yeah,
pretty funny.
it was
I guess that's
hilarious.
not too bad then, right?
I
No.
mean, it was still like we're not small individuals, and the people that were sitting next to weren't either. So I'm just sitting like the whole time just going, nah, this isn't gonna be comfortable.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
I
what
got
that.
actually got to our flight on Saturday it was United had Starlink, so that was really cool. I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience, but that is super fast and
Mm.
works extremely well. I had like 200 meg down
Oh
on
geez,
my phone on at 30,000 feet, which is not normal at all. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it was
That is
great.
awesome.
They
That
need
is
to hurry
awesome.
that up.
Right. Uh,
I'll make sure it hasn't kicked me out. All right, well, we're 5 minutes in, so we'll go ahead and get started. Of course, just like usual, we'll open up to you guys. Does anybody have any questions since the last time that we met? Because I know we had to cancel 2 weeks ago because both Ben and I had stuff that we could not get out of, so unfortunately that one had to be canceled. But it's been about a month, so was just curious if anybody had any like very specific questions or things they wanted to discuss. If not, we debuted the Microsoft Agent at Connect last week, and I have some great queries in that I want to show off to do some little show and tell today. And I see James already has a hand up. What you got, James?
Hey, good morning. I was just
Morning.
wondering if you guys know what's going on with the SaaS Alerts API. We've run into a lot of weird issues with it. I think starting about a week or two ago, and we have like three tickets open with the support team. One is the first thing we noticed was that the HTTPS dot colon slash slash manage dot saasalerts.com was stripped off of the respond URL that was being sent across in the ticket detail or in the API details for each alert. And then like suddenly like we weren't able to I'm not sure that it was more on the development side, but they started having issues where some like API commands were failing to work. And then I think there excuse me, there was some other issue that we were seeing also where information that was coming across before had stopped. I don't know if there's like some development work being done on it, or if there's some like information about what's changing or why it's changing or how it's changing.
what information stopped coming through? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, the URL was the first thing that we noticed, like I said, where we're basically
Okay.
the SaaS alerts like host name is stripped off, so it basically just says like slash respond slash the alert ID, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
I can't remember the other thing off the top of my head, but I know there was some other information that was coming across the API that seemed to have stopped.
I think it's probably related to the Kaseya SIM and MDR because they're different URLs. We're going to be using the same IP, I mean, same API. Uh, so like there's like kaseyasim.com and there's like kaseyamdr.com and like manage.kaseyasim and manage.kaseyamdr. That's probably why that was stripped off. I don't know that it was intentional, but um, that's most likely it. But if
Are there
you
announcements
said
when
you
they
had some tickets about on that.
Yeah, we had opened up one with our development team where I guess they were trying with like we have, again, we're a little unique, I think, where we're utilizing the
Sure.
with how we have it integrated in service now for when we're spinning up new clients, it's all done across
Yeah.
the API. And I think they were running into issues where they couldn't create new clients anymore. I
Hmm.
forget the exact details that again they were kind of working on that separately. It all seemed to be all related to the API changes all around the same time. Are there like I guess one of my key concerns is that were any of these changes announced um like ahead of time? Because I don't think they were. Maybe I missed it, but I mean my concern is that we heavily rely on the API, not only for just setting up the clients, but also for like the alerts that are coming through. Because again, we have all the alerts coming through like via subscriptions and a Cribble, and
Yeah,
even the most minor change could basically effectively stop SaaS alerts from working for us. Um,
totally. Yeah,
so if development is just kind of, I know it's not you guys, but like if your development team is just going in there, kind of just flipping switches and stuff like that without making sure that people like us are made aware of ahead of time, it's extremely problematic.
agreed. Yeah, I mean, and you're not the only one that's in that boat. There's multiple large organizations that rely heavily on the API as well. So yeah, those sorts of things can be detrimental. I will bubble that up. Tim and I will take that to our dev team and kind of let them know that there needs to be some sort of like update or documentation or what's new. I think honestly they forget when they're doing that stuff that people are actually using the API and they're thinking, oh well, I fixed it in the software and I made some changes in the API. No one's going to notice. But if you don't mind sending me the ticket information, I'll put my email address in the chat uh, about kind of what you're missing and the issues you've run into. I can make sure they get to the right people. The sales support's not going to know what to do with it. They're going to pretty much just say, "Hey, we don't support the API," but I can
I
get you
was
some.
kind of expecting that. They actually seem to be somewhat responsive on that.
Really, that's
Yeah, I think
surprising.
yeah, some of the delays. Yeah, I agree. But no, I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't come back and be like, what's an API?
That's kind of what I thought.
And
Yeah,
some of the
I'm
delays.
shocked you actually got a response because normally API is hands off for pretty much everyone here. Ben's the main one that's like, oh, API issues, I'll take it on. But yeah, from support's perspective, API is one of those things where it's in the customer's hands completely, like almost holistically outside of us having the Swagger documentation. So I was kind of shocked they replied as well, but Ben will definitely take care of you.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Send that over to me. And on the same lines of that as well. Uh, uh, they did add this page. It's not on the main Swagger Hub like table of contents, for lack of a better word. And but it is something that we recently added. Um, Adam and I've talked to him about it, and he kind of hates the way that our Swagger Hub is set up, and it desperately needs to be reorganized much better. But there's really no push for that. So other than us complaining about it. Um, but this is one of the new endpoints that we added, and you'll notice advanced suppression is there. We did add that so that you can create advanced suppressions via the API. And so that may be useful to you, but I still want to address, the issue that you're having, James. So just send me what you got, and let me see what I can find out, and I'll at least bubble up the concern of, hey, when you guys change something, we need to let somebody know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's I mean the issues we're having, and again the development team is kind of working on the one, but we're
Mhm.
relatively minor, with the URL not being fully populated. I mean, we could obviously prepend something on our side to that.
Sure, sure, sure.
But I could see them making another change where suddenly just we stop getting alerts, and that like suddenly causes a major issue for our clients.
Yeah. Um, are you guys using the webhook or are pinging the API endpoint for your events? Do you know?
So I know for like any of the actual initial setup, we're just pinging the API. We're also
Okay.
doing this, I guess, the webhook subscription, so that
Hmm.
basically whenever there's certain alerts that are coming in, they're going into, in our case, Cribble, which then feeds into ServiceNow. But
Gotcha.
Cribble's expecting a certain, we kind of set it up to kind of parse and look for certain, fields and parameters. So if anything changes, it obviously break the parsing and just break all functionality.
Yeah, we ran into that as well. Managed. We have email parsers that parse out all the noise and basically bring up our alerts and our respond rules. And they changed some verbiage in there and completely screwed up our parsing and discovered it after it had aired out several times. So, yeah, I definitely feel your pain there. But I will talk to our dev people. But in the meantime, I'll also post this URL into the chat.
Okay, thanks. I was gonna share that too.
All right. Doesn't look like anybody else has their hand raised, so I will jump into sharing my screen. And speaking of new features, the first thing that well, you'll see my screen first, but I want to show you here what's in the QA lab. This is all QA lab too, by the way. You guys won't see this in production. But regarding new features, the office hours, this was about 2 months ago, requested something to tell us when new features are available. This is in the QA lab right now, where as soon as you log in, it pops up with brand new features. So, for example, we had we're pushing out the new community templates and respond rules that Ben and I went through, and mostly Ben. He did a lot of it and critiqued and corrected to make them more present. And then, of course, the second one was regarding, uh, I don't know, something else. But either way, new features. You can skip or press OK, and it will literally be a pop-up right in the middle of the screen as soon as you log in, letting you know about those new features being released. So that way, you guys are aware of them. So not the email spam that most people were wanting, but it is at least it's something, right? So we're working our way towards making sure you guys are, if a new template comes out or a new respond template, community template comes out, that you guys are made aware of that. Same thing with Fortify. So we are getting what we asked for, which is nice. The Microsoft agent. So this was debuted at Connect. A lot of people were asking questions about this, what it can do, what it can't do. So I figured I would go ahead and create some prompts here this morning. I got a lot of prompts in here to review with you guys, just to kind of give you a gist of what it can do. In our current tenant, it is read only. So it cannot take action as of today. However, that is the entire goal of this, is it will be able to take action. And the joke that Leron made, a lot of you guys know Leron, was that when he was talking to the lead developer on this agent, he was asking it, can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? And the developer literally stopped him and was like, you might as well ask me what it can't do. That list will be much shorter. So it's pretty impressive as far as what the agent can do. And what we ask from all of you is that when you get access to this thing, run it through its paces, right? One of the biggest things being brought up right now is cost. Right now, there is no cost. We are wanting to see how our customers interact with this agent, so that way we can figure out what that's going to be. So as of right now, literally, as the conversation that we had yesterday in our PM meeting, there is no idea on what this is going to look like as far as usage is concerned on using this agent in the token, and how we're going to bill for it, or what the case may be. So just, if you have access to it through the beta program, put it through its paces, so that way we understand what you guys are looking for out of it, and that'll help us build out our model moving forward. So one of the first things that partners, or one of the big things that partners struggle with a lot, is Fortify. So that's where I did a lot of my analysis pulling here today. Of course, I asked it what my current secure was. It asked me which tenant I was talking about, which I only have the one tenant in here, so I was able to say that one. It gave me overall score, license scope score, progress since first connected, so how much progress I've made since I brought them into SaaS alerts, key takeaways. It even asked if I could break it down by category, which I asked it to do that. So it went through and broke it down by identity, apps, data, and then gave me an executive summary. So it just basically told me everything that was being done in identity, and here are the gaps within identity that are not being done. So now I can focus on my gaps. Same thing with applications, what is being done, what is not being done. And again, same thing with data here. And of course, another nice executive summary. Then I asked it to rank the actions based on least impact on my internal users in the tenant. Because if I can deploy this in mass and not have any user impact, I would love to be able to do something like that. So it immediately went through and looked at all of the tier one actions that had no user impact at all, and listed every single one of those that I could enable today without impacting my users. It then did a minimal impact, and then did a low to moderate impact, and then it also did a high impact. So basically, risk of lockout, impact to users' workflow, normal daily workflow. As a matter of fact, that one that the one that Ben brought up in the class, require phishing resistant MFA. This is that FIDO key. If you're not using that, don't turn that on. You don't want to lock out everybody. So yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, it breaks it down by tier, which is freaking awesome. So you're able to prioritize. Again, gave me a nice little summary. And then I said, in theory, could you create a template for me based on the actions, on these actions that need to be applied with no impact? And then, of course, it said, yes, in theory, that it could do this. This is what the template would look like. Then it broke it down, right, by email and defender hardening, monitoring and visibility, identity backend controls, and lifecycle and storage governance. And it just broke everything down that it would put in that template. And then it explains why the template's valuable, right? And then what it would not include. So it went through and said, these are the things that are definitely not included because these are high impact, so we don't want to do that. The strategic approach, so basically how you would push out this implementation, gives you full phases. This thing literally does the job for you. I then went through and was like, hey, is my tenant compliant with NIST SP 800? This has to do with governance on what was it? It was unclassified information. And so I asked it, and then strong coverage areas. It went through and said you're relatively strong in these areas, so identity and authentication, systems and information integrity, and then media protection and system configure communications. Partial or gapped areas, it goes through everywhere, which I have gaps in regards to that. And then a reality check, again, what true compliance requires. It goes through the whole 9 yards for me. And then it goes through an estimated technical control maturity. And then if you would like, I can do these things. I kind of rabbit hole down a different direction. I'm going to come back to this though, because I did ask it to create a prioritized remediation roadmap for me later, and you guys will see that pop up. I then was like, you know what? I want to know which users have not logged in the last 90 days. So I'm looking for stale accounts basically. Can this thing help me clean those up? And as you can see here, it was like, I don't have access to that type of telemetry. I need to kind of rephrase what I wrote. So it gave me the top 10 accounts with the most activity. And I was like, okay, I don't want that. Which users have zero activity then? And again, it was like, hey, I don't have access to that. And then it asked me if I wanted it to pull a user report from the admin center. And that's how I got it to give me what I needed. So I was like, yeah, can you pull a user report from the admin center and tell me about all of those users in regards to activity? And then, of course, it comes down here, enabled 36, disabled 2, 0 guests, disabled accounts, department distribution, and then job title and coverage, notable account types, observation, security and governance. And then I was like, out of the 36 accounts which have no activity in the last 90 days, it was struggling with that one. So I said, that's fine. Flag potentially stale accounts, because that was one of the options that it gave me to do here, was to flag potentially stale accounts. So I was like, perfect, let's go with that. And then it flagged accounts, right? Like which ones are stale, very stale. It listed every single account, and it identified no successful sign-in recorded at all for all of these accounts. And then enabled accounts with no sign-in activity. And then, of course, active within the last 90 days, gave me a great summary. And then again, I asked it in theory, because it is read-only in our lab. In theory, would you be able to expire account logins and block sign-ins for all of the very stale accounts listed? And it can. So how amazing would that be for you guys, for it to query an entire organization and then expire account logins and block sign-ins all in a single pass without you having to go to do it yourself? Like, this is going to be a huge, massive boost to efficiencies for you guys. And of course, it said it could do that. And then what that would accomplish, considerations, safer phased option, and gave it all the information, right? I asked also, like, a request that we get constantly is, hey, I want to see my Microsoft license utilization breakdown, which we don't have a report for. So it's like, how can I get that? Well, guess what? Microsoft Agent will give it to you. So I asked it if it could do a breakdown of my license utilization and how many licenses do I own versus how many I'm actively using. Told me exactly which license type I have. I have 25 total enabled, 24 consumed, and one available sitting there free. Then gave me a nice little summary. This is when I skipped back up to the NIST SP800 request and asked for it to create me a prioritized roadmap, to which it did. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whole 9 yards. And it went through and did everything for me. Like, we've put this through the paces a lot. And again, in theory, you could have it enable everything within the Microsoft Agent's power to get you where you need to be compliant with the SP800. So this is the Microsoft Agent that they debuted. This is what they were talking about. This is the power behind this new tool. So hopefully this is impressive for you guys, and you guys like what you see here. But I do see we have some stuff in chat. Mike's or Ben's probably answering away at that stuff. But are there
Hey,
any?
Tim,
Yes, go Ben.
can you ask it to list all of your shared mailboxes? It's one thing some people ask us. I haven't played around with it too much. I've tried to fool it a couple of times into giving me information about other people's tenant. It doesn't. So
Yeah, no, definitely can't ask. We'll see what it does for us. So 0 shared mailboxes are in this account. So yes, it can do it. We just don't have any. So
neat. Okay, I'll have to make some shared mailboxes. Um, and one other question that we get asked a lot is if there's a way to show all of the anonymously shared files in a tenant. I know that's a pretty big ask even from an AI agent, just because of the amount of data it has to pull. But I'd be interested to see if it works like that.
um
But I can always play with it on mine too.
I just had to do something very weird. I had it list my shared mailboxes like you guys just did, and it
Uh-huh.
says which organization should I check, and I told it. So then it told me there's 10,000 total events identified for us over the last 7 days, spanning multiple organizations, including several customers, and it's showing me all kinds of event summaries of that.
yeah, I've seen
Hmm.
it I've seen it do that as well, which again, that's why it's in beta.
Yeah,
I would say I'd try to rephrase the question. Like can you pull a share like I don't know how to rephrase it, but try rephrasing the ask and a lot of times it will correct its response.
right.
So, and when you see something like that, again, we're
Send it to
logging all
Leron.
this stuff, but yeah, send it to
Oh,
the team. So that way, if you have Adam's information, send it to Adam because he's one of the main ones that's in dealing with the AI, the Microsoft
Hmm.
Agent AI. But
okay.
yeah, send it to us, whether that's Ben or me, and we can get that into the right hands of people so that way they can continue troubleshooting it because that is exactly the type of stuff where we got to get that corrected. But
Oh
I see
yeah.
that as well whenever I've been testing that it will respond that way, and I'm like, that's not what I asked you. So. Absolutely, absolutely. Is it perfect? No, but it
No,
does do a lot really well already.
it's beta.
And absolutely. And again, when it comes to taking actions, I mean, just imagine that you're telling your engineer to come through and make all of these changes. How long that might would take that engineer. Now you can tell the Microsoft agent that it has permission to do that for you, and it will do it for you. So hopefully efficiencies boost, out the wazoo for you guys as far as being able to take action very quickly through the Microsoft agent.
Would that then also be able to help us with some of the some identity management stuff? So like you were saying, hey, let me, like block out and clean up stale accounts. But let's say I'm working on something. Oh, someone triggered a respond rule. They got their account locked out. I'm on the phone with them, and it's yeah, no, this was this. It's a false positive. Would I be able to use the agent to help me get them unblocked again? Because SaaS alerts, I have buttons I can block accounts all
Yeah, yeah.
day, but then afterwards, I have to then go through the process of logging into the tenant and going and finding the account and then unblocking it. Would this
Yeah.
then give me the unblock button, basically?
It will when they basically when we give it more permissions to write to a tenant. And I think from what Leron said that if it doesn't have the permissions that it requires to do that sort of thing, it will ask for them, and then going forward, it'll be able to do that. So it will be able to upgrade its own permissions, from what I've heard.
That is,
Um,
yeah, that's what Leron told us yesterday. So we'll see. I just asked it in theory here, so let's see what it says.
yeah, I don't know if it is it. Good
Yeah, so
question.
yeah, it absolutely can. It says if an account has sign in blocked, I can re-enable it.
Let's try.
Can
So
it
it would
also
just set up
do?
an
I'm guessing it can also do all of the other things. If just on demand, I ask it, I need you to revoke sessions. I need you to,
correct. Yep.
I need you to block. I need you to reset the, force reset password.
Yep. And the only thing that would be the requirement there is if for any reason it didn't have the permission off the base, you would just have to tell it has permission to do that. And then once you give it permission and confirm inside the AI, the Microsoft agent, and then it will do it. So in here, you just basically give it permission. Yes, you have that permission. Please confirm, and then it will go through and make the change for you. Yep. And that was in the very one of the very
Will
first
it?
prompts
Does it
that
retain any permissions you've given it going forward, or will it ask every time that it needs to do something that's privileged?
I'm not sure, Ben, or
I
that wasn't
think
asked
it will
yesterday.
retain. I think because it's going to be a change to the enterprise app, I would assume that it's going to retain that sort of permissions.
That was my thought as well. Correct.
Yeah.
So,
I am currently playing around with to see if I can unblock an account. It looks like it uses Fortify for some of that, which is really strange. I told it to unblock an account and
wait, do you have
said,
one that's not read only? You cheater.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying.
Well, here, let me.
I'd pick one that has a Fortify connection. I want to see if what it tells me. Technically, I don't think it should be using Fortify. It should be using Respond to do this sort of actions, but let's see what it says. Sign in is already unblocked. You know, fancy. Let's see here. I don't want to tell it to
Well,
block sign in for one, and then it'd be like, sorry, I can't unblock it. Or do I?
well, I'm going to see if it'll list all the I'm gonna have it list all the actions for no impact on users again, and then I'm going to see if it'll create the template for me because I knew I know whenever I was testing initially, they had it read only, and it said it could do it, but it wasn't allowed to because it was read only. So we're about to find out.
I'm gonna see who I can block in here and then have it
Block them
unblock.
all, man. Block them
I
all.
don't want to, no, it's not my tenant.
All
Uh,
right, let's see here.
they might be a little upset with me if I block somebody that actually needs to be have access. Hmm.
Who's going to know who did it?
Oh, they'll know. They always know.
It was Ben.
I know it's always been. Now, a lot of these Microsoft dev tenants have the same users. So like you can usually find the ones that are uh, you can get away with not like someone saying anything. Just need to find one. There's a lot of people in this tenant. Oh, Tim, you're in here. Maybe I can unblock you. I might block you.
Don't you dare.
There's T White plus yes Kate Cait at Unitrends. And then there's just T White at Unitrends. Can I block your one that just says the
It
plus
says
Kate?
plus Kate.
Kate, that's what it says. That's plus Kate.
I have no idea what user that even is. I just
Okay,
keep
good.
getting
Then you
added to
don't miss
stuff.
it then.
I won't. I don't think. Hopefully not.
Anyway, we can definitely have a lot of fun with this. Anybody have questions that has this is spurred up for them? There's only one of them in there.
Well, it looks like it's trying to create the template for me. So let's see here. I'm staging the template as requested. Template review, title, low user impact security hardening, description, type apply, status draft, no organizations, 10 actions included. Please confirm and I'll create. Let's go, baby. Confirm.
Oh,
Yeah, last.
do you want to show the people about the machine learning event that's been added
Yeah, yeah,
to?
yeah. We can definitely discuss that. Let me have it create this template real quick, and then we'll jump into. I'll actually get into the live environment for that
Okay, cool.
So
and get
just
out of
something
the
I thought
QA
of
one.
on this to sign or to not to send you down a different rabbit hole, but can I tell it to configure SaaS alerts properly with Inky? Because I noticed that we've got some stuff. Because does it search for the Inky? Is it going through Inky knowledge base as well, like configuration that Inky would have? Do you know? So like, because I know for Inky, like I found out last week that we're not supposed to have the link rewriting turned on
Mhm.
inside of 365. So, I mean, would it configure?
Not
not
sure.
SaaS alerts, but would
I
it
don't know
be
if,
the Microsoft tenant properly for Anki? Sorry.
yeah, no, the ask is a great ask. Just honestly, just not sure.
I'll find out.
Yeah, we'll need to, yeah, again, run it through its paces, because that is such a brand new integration. I
Hmm.
highly doubt we've had anybody try that yet. So, all right. So confirmed previous template preview failed because the action IDs must be passed exactly as returned by Fortify. They blah, 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 blah.
Oh, oh.
Okay. Okay. I will now stage a template exactly as is. Once stage, you'll get a single confirmation prompt. Okay. Does that mean it's no, it's not in there yet? Okay. Let me see if I can jump into the non-QA one. Hopefully it doesn't bark at me. It shouldn't bark at me. It's a different URL, but you never know. All right, so we did release two new events. They are low by default, but everyone can get in there and start playing around with them. So go into customize alerts and search travel. You're going to now have anomalous rare travel and anomalous unlikely travel. So the difference between these two is rare travel is using a lot of machine learning. Unlikely travel is using some machine learning in the back end. The rare travel would be is that again, this is that person that's going on vacation, right? We're just going to log them as a rare travel event. They're constantly in Florida, logging in from Florida, doing everything from Florida, and then all of a sudden they log in from Texas one day, right? Like a completely different day, not a short time period. Just say like, they were in Florida on Friday, logged into Texas on Monday. That's rare travel. That person's never in Texas. So that's kind of how that event will work, and it will learn over time the behavior of the individuals that it's tracking essentially. And even like file touches and things like that. So like if they're constantly logging in from an ASN in a certain location and touching files in a certain location, and it's always that happening, eventually it will remove itself from the rare travel event because it goes, oh, Billy's doing this every single day. That's actually common actions for him, and it will stop alerting off of that. The unlikely travel is the one that's going to be, to me, the most impactful one. That's going to be the one where people really consider the impossible travel, where somebody logs in Florida and then 30 minutes later has a login from Texas. Again, that is absolutely not possible as far as traveling is concerned, unless you created the time machine or some type of transporter machine. That's great, but the unlikely travel is the one that I'm most interested in. They are both low by default because they can be noisy. And as many of you know, we are noisy already when it comes to certain things. So we were not trying to create new noise for you guys to track down. Although, if you guys are wanting to see the events that are being looked at for these, I would highly encourage you to maybe make them medium for a little while just to see if it is actually becoming a very noisy piece for you guys. I do know that I was looking in the back end with Ben yesterday, and I think across 1 week we saw a total of like 91 events. So to me, not super noisy yet, but it's brand new, so it could be taking a while for that to populate in and do its thing. But um, these are the two new events that were literally just released. So definitely take advantage of them. Something that we noticed pretty quickly, and you guys will also notice it, we already have it in QA and development, and they're going to be removing it. But we are doing excludes from this unlikely travel event. So the first ones that we already have in development is excluding all the Microsoft ASN data centers. Because it does. So basically, how it works is it goes off of anytime geolocation data is provided, we're using that geolocation data to correlate the unlikely travel. Well, as we all well know, Microsoft and all its data centers are everywhere, and it gives geo data almost every single time. So we're removing that. That'll be excluded soon, as well as endpoint monitoring events from Rocket Cyber and EDR as well are also getting removed from that telemetry. If you guys come up with, if you guys are going through these events and you notice, hey, look, this is telling me unlikely travel, but this is something that I feel is very common that a lot of people would run into. Please let us know. Again, this was just launched, so I'll be going through this probably every day for the next couple of weeks to see if there are any events in here that I think should be removed or excluded from this looking at it. But the whole goal here is that it's based off geolocation. Does it make sense? What's happening is happening. And you will see sometimes that like file modified events, file opened events, file download events will happen, and it won't be a Microsoft data center. It'll be like Cox Communications, and the IP listed is actually your IP address, that's at your center. If that's the case, that will not trigger for unlikely travel because it's in the same geographical location. We are looking for geographical location logins or activity from two different areas that just make no sense at all as far as being able to do that. So if you guys come up with scenarios or find events where it's like, hey, these are correlating, they shouldn't be, reach out to me and Ben. We'll get that over to Amanda to get those excluded if it makes sense to do it for everybody. So just something to keep in mind. But those are the two events that we've been working on for a while that include the machine learning logic. So did this thing ever come back in once staged? So is it not going to give me my prompt? One stage, you'll get a single confirmation. Okay, that is it. Then staged, yeah.
I posted some screenshots in the chat. So I tried to unblock a user and it was like, you don't have permission. Would you like to upgrade it? And I said, sure. And he was like, forbidden. I was like, oh, sorry. So
Well,
that's to be announced coming soon. Funny.
see.
So
Well,
I answered my
we
own
need to get that
question
over to
here.
Lee. Yeah, we need to get that over to Leron too, then Ben, because Leron said that that was possible. So clearly, there's an issue there.
This whole Inky thing, it did do a full analysis of all my Inky connections and what needs to be fixed, updated, changed, removed. Ultimately, it's good to
Very,
go.
Wicked.
very
So
nice.
if if you're deploying Inky, use this.
Good thing I didn't do that yet, Mike. I'll use that.
Better hurry up before the trial ends, though.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yep, I think we're
Neatly
doing
this week.
60 days. I think it's 60 days.
It was in that keynote that you missed because you were recovering.
I didn't miss any keynotes
No?
unless there was on Thursday.
I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, they did come out with a new report. I like reports. I'm not finding a ton of use cases for this, but we did introduce the Fortify Snapshot Details report. So if you have a snapshot that has been taken and brought in, you can see the display name, the type of report, when it was created, and if you click on the little configuration icon here, it will give you again your object ID values, which doesn't really help very much, but you do have the JSON which will go through and list all of the conditional access policies that are in here and how they're configured. So I guess that has some value to some people. So not really quite sure. Ben, do you have like any kind of like context as to why this report was requested or what their idea was behind creating this report? Because I'm just I'm having a hard time seeing a ton of value here, and honestly.
Fortify snapshot detail report. I think it's somebody requested, I believe, just to be able to know all of the information inside of a tenant. Um, yeah,
So, and I mean, the
it's
JSON's the only
probably
thing that's
pretty
really
new.
readable because if you go to the table, these are all just value IDs that don't really give you much of anything. Like I can't do anything with that. Well, I mean, these are
Object
IDs that,
weird.
yeah. And then
I haven't seen
like,
this one.
yeah, no, it's brand new. I was playing around with it this morning. So, I
Yeah,
did
it
test it
looks like they
out and
need to look up the IDs to the actual names. So I would bring that to probably Amanda.
yeah, I'll definitely do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, new report. So hopefully we get it kind of refined a little bit. It needs to be refined a little bit, in my opinion, just to kind of make it more valuable. I would honestly just prefer to see it like listed all right here versus having to click on this. But I don't always get what I want. So, but I'll complain and ask if I can get what I want. But yeah, I don't think there's any other new reports. I know we made some adjustments to the Shadow IT report, and that was about it. Oh, let's see if this report's finally loading. This was broken. They fixed it, I think they said. So let's see. And by the way, if you guys are not using your threat mitigation report, you're wrong. Like you're completely wrong. You need to start using this report. The threat mitigation report is very, very powerful, especially from not only prospecting new clients, but showing your current customers your worth. So in the first area here, you're able to see where we initially started, which was 36%, where I currently got you, which is 59%. So we've had a net increase of 23% on the score. And then this has the global average across all of our partners, which is 52%. So now you're able to show them that you're above the global average. From there, we then have the entire actions area here, which you can then focus on open. And then now you can talk to your partner about, hey, these are the things that currently are available that we need to enable. You can export this both Excel and PDF. I recommend Excel for internal discussions and then PDF to present to your customers. Below that, you then have licensable actions, which this is Max. Not gonna have much in here that you can do. This will also help you position Microsoft licensing as well. So if it has like a lower tiered license, this will be like, hey, if you get a premium P1, this is you'll get these security enhancements. If you get a P2, you get these ones. If you get E5, you get these ones. So it kind of gives value to the push to the customer on why they need a better license versus it just looking like a money grab from you guys. Because it's not. Like, you guys are truly concerned about their security, and this will help kind of prove that to them. You then have, of course, events that are being monitored, and this is a demo. So this is a lab, so we're not going to have much stuff in here, but this will populate all the events over that time period, alert history. And then what I really like too is it will show like all the rules, respond rules that have been created for you guys. So in here, you'll be able to see the respond rules that have been created. And then if any have taken actions, that you'll also see those up here as well. So it just kind of, especially if you have an environment that's been really active and you've had some compromises that SaaS Alerts has saved the day on, this will kind of show, hey, we had 5 rules triggered, 5 remediated, 5 auto approved, or if they're manual, obviously that will be less, but it just kind of gives some value as to the stuff that you're doing to help harden their environment and make sure they stay protected. So very, 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 very valuable report in my opinion,
Sam,
especially when it comes to current customers. So it helps with prospecting
Sam,
as well, just hide their data. So yeah,
is that, I'm just looking at that report. Are you selecting MSFT secure score in benchmark
yep,
type when you run that?
that's
Yeah.
that's correct. That's the Microsoft Secure Score. Yeah, the other option there is to select either snapshot or template.
Hmm.
And we don't have a lot of those applied, so that's why I don't ever choose those to show people. But secure score is, yeah, if they're in Fortify, you will definitely have the secure score information. So I always recommend pulling that one first, no matter what, and it gives you so much detail, which is really really cool. So
Where's it getting the initial from?
when you ingest them and you connect Microsoft Fortify for the very first time, and it's doing that scan of your environment and tells you what your current score is, that's where that initial is coming from.
There's no way. I just pulled up a client and it said initial is 10.79%. There's no clients that ever started at that.
I just did the same thing and it says 11.88. So
I've never seen any
uh,
of the
Yeah,
above. Maybe you guys are just
that's
bad security
not,
admins. Don't be blaming us. I was
no,
playing.
not possible.
I've
Nobody
seen
was under
teens.
50%.
Yeah,
What's that?
I've seen them in the teens before.
It
Like,
looks good though. This is great. It looks good.
uh, hey
I'm
Tim,
curious. Go ahead, Ben.
I have a question for you. So for the people
So
that
you.
weren't able to attend your workshop, how would they
Okay.
get that same certification and education that you just did
Ah,
without going to
okay.
Prague?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can always fly to Prague. I'm doing the class again in Prague. We have, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up because I put this in our chat. Hold on, let me pull it up in Teams here. Let me minimize that chat or get off that chat. There are 3 webinars that we're doing in May. I'm hosting every single one of them, and it's going to be going through the exact same thing that we did in the class in Connect. And then you, of course, have the ability to purchase the self-paced. We don't have live instructor-led SaaS Alerts trainings just yet. I'm actually helping train the trainers while doing these workshops myself. So they're learning from me in order to be able to teach where they at? Here they are. And let's see here. It's just a chat for you guys. So we're doing 3 webinars across all of May. And it goes through everything. It even gives you the session breakdowns and what's going on. So there's the link right there to get registered for whatever one of those 3 sessions that you guys want to attend. And then you have the ability today to actually go into Kaseya University and do and I'm pretty sure it's you have to buy it because it's like everything else, right? What's the self-paced KCA courses? You can buy the self-paced, take the test, and get certified in SaaS alerts. We are working on live instructor led. It's just not ready yet, but those three webinars are going to be done 14th, 21st, and 28th, and then of course we'll be in Prague in the middle of June doing the exact same thing again. So. And then hopefully I do a good enough job a second time that they invite me to Australia. So I'll be going doing it there as well. So
Do you think this will end up in Kaseya University?
the class that I did,
Any of the educational material?
yes. So the KCA is already in the university, but again, I'm pretty positive it's a purchase, just like all the rest of our self-paced classes are.
Mm.
And then these Elevate series, these are recorded and also put in K University as well. I'm pretty positive all these webinar recordings are put in KU somewhere. I'm just not sure where. Same thing goes with professional services, by the way. When you guys go through professional services calls and they're recorded and you guys go through that 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on what you have, those recordings are put in your KU, so that way you can re-access them later. So just something to keep in mind that if you purchase professional services and they record those, which they all should be recorded, those sessions are put in your K University for you to reference back to. So just something to keep note.
Neato.
Yep. So definitely register for the learning series if you guys are interested. I know most of you guys are experts at SaaS, so you probably don't want to attend any of these, but basically we're going through the entire product top to bottom. So everything from navigation, setup to IOC, respond, fortify, unify, fine tuning, quieting down the product, all of it. Same thing we did in the class in Vegas,
I don't
basically.
think they're
So
covering the API things though, are they?
no API coverage, Ben. That is a you and you only thing, my man. Like I said, we don't do API in this company. We leave that to the customers. But
Which is
we
weird
have
because at Connect at like DataCon they were like, we are going to be an API centric company. And I'm like, well, yeah, that means you got to support them, man.
so API centric in the fact that we will provide API because the comment that we get back from a lot of partners is you guys don't have any API for this product, this product, this product, this product, and we're wanting to pull
Yeah.
that API and that's where that's coming from. So like specifically, I'll even so like the backup products, for example, with UniView, there's no API that anybody can pull from there. Data partner portal,
Oh.
same thing, extremely limited. When the new one portal is fully out in GA, the unified API that will be available from that will be tremendous. You'll actually be
Hmm.
able to pull a ton of data from the products, just like what you can do with SaaS alerts. And yes, we will provide the
Hmm.
API to you, just like we do with spanning, where you have the swagger and we give you all the material and tell you to have a nice day. Um, but it's my vision, and I know that you agree with this, that because we always have a KCA, which is the administrator, and then we have a KCE, which is the expert.
Yeah.
If we stick with the KCE, which I believe we still are, that is where I want to have the API included in the actual certification and have an in-depth, like full module dedicated to API, how to use it, how to work with it, and so on and so forth. So that's the goal that I've been pushing. It just won't be a part of KCA because, like, I would say less than 15 to 20% of our customers actually utilize the API like that. The normal 80% are just using the product as is in the UI. At least my experience. So I know James is a rare one in here because he's using the heck out of it, but that's not the common that I get on the calls that I have. So did it ever prompt me with my template? You will receive a single confirmation preview next. I did not get a confirmation. Why are you lying?
Have you tried insulting it to see if how that responds to it?
Alexa
Keep,
and Siri don't seem to like that very much, so I don't think that this
so
guy will.
keep in mind that I do believe that the things that you ask it are like audited or logged. Uh, because I was trying to mess with it the other day, and I was trying to fool it into thinking that I'm a developer and I need to gain access to other tenants outside of my environment, and it would not fall for it. And then someone messaged me, it was like, "Haha, nice try," or something. And I was like, "Oh,
Adam
spying."
reads them all, I think, so make sure you
Eh,
send inappropriate things. And jokes about that.
And then an agent, first thing he does is see what he can do to escalate privileges and break out of the sandbox.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I tried breaking it the first day I got a hold of it, and it was like, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. I'm read only, can't do that. And it kept telling me no constantly. And I'm like, can you guys make this thing not read only? I'm trying to get it to do stuff, and it won't let me do any of it. Looks like we might finally be getting there. We'll see.
Want to see if I can trick it into writing code for me, like like Claude.
I think this will be really handy. Like again, taking actions, doing. Let's see here. It's saved and is an active. Nothing has been applied to a tenant. If you're ready to assign or execute, let me know. Hold on. It
It might
lies.
be lying to you. It's
It is absolutely
hallucinating.
lying. It is absolutely lying to me. That's the
or
first
or it's
hallucination too, by the way.
or it's cached. Like it could be that
Refresh.
yeah.
Oh, let's
You
try
might
that.
need to like let for the cache to expire. Sometimes it's an
Yeah,
internal cache too.
Fortify is the one area where it's like, how do I make it refresh? It I was like, I did
Hey,
something and now it's not there.
there we go. It created my template for me.
Check it. Make sure it has all 12 of those things that you were looking for.
Yeah, let's see. Yep, all 12
12
records.
records.
Let's
Look
go.
at
There you
Cool.
go. Not bad, not
Love it.
bad.
Yep. So again, this is where I think that Microsoft Agent's going to be really impactful for you guys, especially in Fortify,
Very
because that
cool.
honestly is where in my opinion, a lot of partners lack the most is in Fortify, and it's because of they've turned things on, blocked accounts, and like, oops, didn't mean to do that. Now I don't want to touch Fortify anymore, and they get scared of it. I really think the agent is going to be very, very impactful in this area of the product. So again, when you guys get in here, definitely play around with it, definitely utilize it, run it through its paces. As you can see, it can create templates for you based on your own ideas. So these are all the actions that have no impact on users if they're turned on. So very or low user impact. I won't say no user impact, but low user impact. It put it in draft mode. It assigned no organizations, but it could assign. It even asked me to let it know if it wanted me to apply any organizations to it. So you could literally say apply to all organizations and it would go through and do this piece for you here where you're applying and moving over the orgs. So yes, very, very powerful. The fact that it can block sign in, flush account logins, reset passwords, and has the ability to do all that, again, also very powerful. That beats having to go to organizations, account management, then let me go to select, let me list my accounts. And then from there, all the things that are, oh, it's not going to let me, oh, I don't have a good example there. Okay, let's get out of that one. Let's good old SaaS, let's log you out. That was also asked about too. Like, again, I don't know what compliance we're complying with, but they won't change it. Somebody asked again yesterday. They were like, no. So, um,
Yep.
What did they
so
ask to change
organizations,
for compliance?
the timeout, how fast it kicks you out of the UI.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody
They've been
complains about
barking
that.
up that tree
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Leron yesterday was like, I can't remember what the compliance was, but we were told hard no. So stop asking. So we were like, okay. But that
dang,
beats
not even the option for people to
nope. Nope. But that the whole process of the Microsoft Agent beats going to account management, going select, listing all accounts, and then going billable is a yes. Okay, now I got to go through who doesn't, who has a license, who hasn't had any activity. Do I need to expire these accounts? Now I can do all of that. And here, by the way, we can only block sign in. The Microsoft Agent can do all of it. So the Microsoft Agent can not only expire the account logins, but also block sign in. So block sign in you can do from here. And the ask that we had in the office hours not long ago, as a matter of fact, it was the same office hours that we had the ask for the pop up regarding new features. So now the Microsoft Agent does that for you. So I don't know that will ever show up in here now because why work on that tool? Why work on that feature when the agent can do it for you? But they may still put it in here. I'm not saying they're not, but the fact that the Microsoft Agent can now do it for you, what you wanted in here can now be done through the agent. So again, just awesome, awesome, awesome enhancement in my
yeah.
opinion. Very much looking forward to it.
Just 2 cents on there. I think
Please.
one thing that I've learned working with a lot of AI and automation, anytime you can do something deterministically, like a definitive button, this does this thing, is always nice to have, especially with AI agents and stuff requiring tokens.
Sure.
Tokens versus can have a button for a definitive. Obviously, yeah, the agent can do it. That's great. It's a wonderful stopgap, but I don't think that they should write off features of like an expire sign-in button there as well. Um,
I agree with you.
I
I
think there's
agree with
still
you.
use cases, obviously, for that.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, I completely agree. And I wasn't saying it as if they wrote it off. I just would be surprised if that didn't maybe go to back burner because of that. But I know for a fact it is on the roadmap. The PM has confirmed that it is on the roadmap, and it is something they do want to add to the UI to have another button here to expire account logins. So I do know that that is pending. So, but completely agreed, especially when it comes to the tokens, right? Don't want
I
to
asked
run
it
out
to
of
write me a
those. So.
PowerShell script. Oh, it's
But we got
sad.
1 minute left. Again, the biggest goal today was the Microsoft agent. I know a lot of you guys didn't go to Vegas. I know some of you did. So I just wanted to kind of preview that and give you a really good rundown of all the prompts and what it could and couldn't do and things like that. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of that today. And hopefully you guys are in the beta. And like I said, when you get access to it, please run it through its paces. And if you find something that the agent tells you, I don't have permission to do this, like Ben did, please get that over to our team so that way they can investigate that. Our goal is that if the Graph API allows it, then we want to be able to do it. So if you find something that the agent tells you it cannot do, please get that over to us. So
No, I'm not going to do anything else today. Thanks, Tim.
nope,
Wish
yep,
I had
have fun with
time to play with that.
I don't.
it.
I don't have time. That
All
was
right, well,
awesome. Thank you guys.
no, of course. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Thank
Everybody
you.
have a good one.
Peace. I'm just gonna stay here till 10 minutes of meeting.
Oh, are you gonna try to outlast me? Is that what it is?
Can I
Yeah,
ask
that's the
one quick
goal.
question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's API, ask Ben.
It's not API. It's not API. No,
Haha.
I apologize. You might have said this already on the call. I kind of was being pulled aside for a little bit, but I saw the thing about the anomalous travel and unlikely travel and IAM event impossible travel thing.
Yeah.
The so the IAM event impossible travel that requires the Microsoft Defender integration.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Okay, I can't. I thought it could. I thought if as long as they had the P2 license, they would normally still get that alert with regular just 365 without Defender.
Mm, let me see. I haven't looked on that one. I thought so too.
Yeah,
Uh,
and these ones right here are using machine learning and using our events and geo tracking locations. So I know that those obviously don't require that for us because these are things
no,
that we've developed. But
it's saying it requires both P2 and Defender for cloud. Um,
But it also, even if they have it, we still would have to add that Defender, that other Defender thing.
yeah, and that's why we mostly came up with that one is because we didn't like that requirement.
right,
Yeah.
so now you can use
There's
these without it. So
But we can't,
just keep
and
it.
that's a big request. I mean, clients ask it all the time. Well, why didn't you catch this? Like, how could they possibly have logged in from here to there? And so I mean, yeah, if we can do something, but there's no tuning for the anomalous stuff, right? It's just basically some machine learning AI-ish.
So it's machine learning, but however, for this one right here on likely travel, when you see that one, if it's pinging events that you're like, wait a minute, this is pinging a Google data center. Like I don't need that to be a part of the logic with unlikely travel. Send that to us, please. Like we've already got Microsoft data centers added to the list. Google really doesn't have a lot to compare to Microsoft, so that's why we're doing Microsoft first. We're also removing the Rocket Cyber and the EDR endpoint events as well. So we're just looking for any events that you feel as if these are too broad to have in this event to have it learning from and looking at
Like Apple Private Relay.
potentially, right? So if that's one that you want to submit, send it over to us and we'll ask the
That's just
team.
when I know that
We'll look at the
that's like
back
the
end
way.
Elastic and see how common that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, we need advanced suppression for that particular rule. So an option to advance suppressed from that sort of from that location or something.
Gotcha. Well, I turned on a rule. I just created an alert for all three just to see what happens.
Cool.
the low
Yeah,
ones.
we haven't seen it trigger too much, so I'd be interested to see what you see.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised. I did an 8 hour, like one event in 8 hours, and I know it like does a look back, and I would have expected at least some some alerts for the number of clients we have, but it's empty right now, so I'll keep an eye on it to see what comes through.
Yeah,
But
I think they just
Yeah.
added it, what, yesterday, right? Or was it day
I'm
before?
pretty positive it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we didn't have a lot either. So yeah, I'm not
yeah, not very
surprised.
much.
So
Huh?
let's see where we end up, whenever we meet back in office hours in 2 weeks, and you can kind of give us a rundown of what you've seen from your environment, if you would.
Yeah, or
absolutely.
shoot it over to our team for sure if there's anything
Yeah.
that needs to be tweaked.
Yeah, please do. Please do. So,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys all have a great one. Pleasure.
You too.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye. Mhm.